want some, but you ain't bad enough, so you can't take none.
All right, Coach, we are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it, this crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Chicago Bears and the Houston Texans. Two teams trying to stake their claim to postseason football. Week 14 of the NFL is underway. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Yellow, I go, little lady!
They will run for the first time with David Montgomery. The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up second down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
You better be ready. Don't be scared. Out. Hey, 15. Go ahead. Hey, 57. Shift. Yellow.
Now a whistle, and I think a penalty here for a delay. No, they're going to say timeout. They did get the timeout in time. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. On 2nd down, Montgomery. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
But just play number 3 here on the opening drive, and it's an early 3rd and 1. Mahomes now to throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down. J.J. Watt in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
Whenever you see a team deciding to throw the ball on 3rd and 1, as a defensive player, my mindset is we've got them now, and that's why they dialed up the blitz and got after them.
But occasionally, you want to pass it on 3rd and 1. I mean, not a lot for sure, but sometimes just to keep the defense guessing.
Oh, no doubt. You want to break tendencies as you go along with a game because you don't want them to just say, oh, 3rd and 1, we know exactly what they're going to do. But in this situation, as an offensive lineman, as a running back, I want to know why I didn't get the football.
And this is caught. That's Watkins. A gain there of 12 yards and a first down for the Bears.
Well, peel back the curtain, partner. We've got a pretty good look into how they plan to play this game. Aggressive seems to be the word. Going for it on 4th down in that situation.
Yeah, opening drive. Now, we know this coaching staff, they have traits of aggression in their history, but what a start to this game. They're going for it.
Yeah, a lot of people might say reckless, but they got it. 1 for 1 on 4th down here early in the game.
A couple of first downs have them to the 40 now on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Mahomes. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Michael Kendricks able to record his 5th sack of the season.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. From the gun, it's a give to Montgomery. 9 yards on the gain there, so from 2nd and 19, now we've got a 3rd and 10.
Playing against a 3-4 front is really challenging for offensive linemen because they can do so many different things. But when you're running the football, if you can handle the nose tackle up front and then maybe a guard can slide up to the second level and block a linebacker, that's when you have success running the football.
Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. Eluding the pressure right. And this is caught by Watkins. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. 23 yards on the play. Little glimpse of his athleticism there and what they're going to have to deal with. He can use his legs to dance around back behind the line of scrimmage and beyond the line of scrimmage.
And wouldn't you love to get a copy of their defensive scouting report going into the week? Because that's been stressed the whole time. Keep him bottled up. Keep him in the pocket. But it's the first drive of the game and emotions are running high. Someone forgot that, trying to make a big play and gave up a bigger one instead.
Mahomes firing complete. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. A good pickup. 17 yards and a Bear first down.
Nice little nifty play for him there. Yeah, that's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backs out of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody cover. Oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? They were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 11 at the Texans' 23-yard line.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Throwing now is Mahomes. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. A gain there of 12 yards and a first down for the Bears. How about the start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive, going to plan so far. A quick throw. Here's Shepard. And he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10 at the 11-yard line.
Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. Montgomery back to the ground. And he'll get nothing there. Stopped right at the line as that will wind us down to the end of this first quarter of play. No score after 1 on EA Sports. From the gun on 3rd down, Mahomes. Escaping the pressure right. And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's 4th down. Nothing doing there as the 13th play of the drive proves to be unlucky. And his kick here is good. And it's 3-0. The Bears hit the scoreboard first. So they get the field goal, but that was a 14-play drive to get 3.
You sound like you're going negative on that.
I was.
Sounds like you're thinking the 3 is just not that good.
And people say that we're negative sometimes. So.
Well, here's the deal. Getting the 3 is good. Obviously, you would think on a 14-play drive you're going to get 6 out of it. But that type of a drive can pay dividends later on because you might wear the defense down.
Watson will bring up the Texans here 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
At the 30-yard line.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Richard. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there. Now it'll be 3rd down.
3rd down and 5.
Mike, set. 19. Let's get it together, defense. Let's get it together.
On 3rd down, Miller. A pickup of 11 and a Texans 1st down.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
Mike, set. 19. Watch the screen. Watch the screen. Watch the screen.
They keep it with Miller on 1st down. And 3 yards there takes him to the 45.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the 2nd half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the 1st half. Maybe not so much in the 2nd half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Here we go. Hey, we got Mike 10 right here, guys. Mike 10. And watch the lane. Mike 10. Mike 10.
They'll try the air now with Watson under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Below Nichols in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Following the sack, it's now 3rd and long for Watson and the Texans.
Check. Crouch. Alert. Alert. Hey, watch this. Watch the car. Hustle.
Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter.
Set. 19. I got you. I can learn. No. Wait. Check 24. Watch 24. Hey, 31.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And he's going to go down again. Robert Quinn, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. 3rd and long, why are you calling play action?
Yeah, because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking, but to me it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and it leads to a play-action sack.
Yo,
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
Slam. Check. Check, here we go. Finish the game. Check, hot. Watch that. Safety quick.
And he'll be down deep into Houston territory. 1:53 remaining in this first half of play. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. They'll run with Montgomery. And this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down. Bear in mind, that wasn't a big lineman back there for the tackle for loss. That was a cornerback.
So are you saying the myth has been shattered? That all of them are not just cover corners? Some of them actually will stick their nose in and tackle when necessary? That's what we just saw, isn't it?
They try again with Montgomery. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. Here's Mahomes to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. J.J. Watt has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. From the right hash, just a 34-yard attempt. And this one is right through. And that will make it 6-0. So scores on their first 2 possessions, but 6-0, so field goals probably not what they were hoping for.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that. Not what they were hoping for, but they should be happy that they have points on the board. It almost feels like that old slow and steady wins the race, doesn't it? In this case, though, they want to be slow and steady now, but get explosive later and put the points up on the board.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you. 10's the mic. 10's the mic. Hey, here I come.
Watson. And the catch made by Hopkins. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. A first down carry now for Miller. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. On 2nd and 11 now. Watson, and he hits his target. It's Kenny Stills. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears 37.
That's another Texan
So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. So a couple of field goals, that's all we've been able to muster through 2 quarters of play. 6-0 is our count at the break. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And with the way this offense has played thus far, to be frank, they got to feel pretty grateful to be in the ball game.
I would agree with you totally, because they've done all of nothing offensively in this game, yet they still find themselves in a position on this drive where a touchdown can give them the lead. They need to take advantage of it.
Yeah, they're still looking for that first touchdown here in the third quarter. All they have so far, the field goal. Miller. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments.
Get the boys down. He's coming.
Watson just beating the play clock. He finds Hopkins complete. A gain there of 21 yards.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
19. Big stop, D. Big 59. 10's the Mike. 10's it. You run. And we got Mike 10
On 1st and 10, Watson. It's complete to Hopkins. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. 15 yards, the Texans pick up the first down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
They'll run on first down. It's Miller, and they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play, and that's going to make it 2nd and 14.
Where's the set? 19. Hey, watch the slant. Motion. Hey, we got Mike T right here, guys. Mike T. Hey. Deuce.
To throw is Watson. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Where's the set? 19. You ain't doing nothing today. You ain't doing fast. Hey, motion backfield. Mike 9. Hey, one more. Watch the screen.
3rd and long. It's Watson. And the pressure gets to him again. Akeem Hicks in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And this will be out of bounds at the what here? The 12-yard line. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away.
Yeah,
defense,
we
got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see what the offense gets done.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 11, he goes down. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Yellow! Where's the blue lady? Yellow! Rush in! Rush in! Rush in! Switch! Yellow! Check 37! Check 37! What handle? Watch twins! Mike 41. We've got to wedge that.
Shotgun snap to Mahomes. It's caught. Shepard. 18 yards on that one, and Chicago has the first.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route.
Yellow!
Throwing on first down is Mahomes. Open man is Trey Burton. And he'll be down deep into Houston territory. A big play there on the catch and run. 58 yards. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. Operating from the red zone now, Mahomes. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. They were trying to get it there to Sterling Shepard, and it's 2nd down. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
Now Montgomery. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. David Montgomery, his 11th touchdown of the year. As the Bears push further out in front, Mahomes now going to lead his guys up for the 2-point try.
Attack! It's just me and you. It's just me and you. I 7. Let's go.
Working from the gun, Mahomes sliding out of the pocket. That is caught. He's got it. And the lead will move to 14-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
And that is going to do it. for this third quarter of action. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
They've got Mike 10 right here, guys. Mike 10. Boom. Team showed up. Mike 10. Mike 10. Mike 10. Blue Dan.
Here's Watson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Eddie Goldman with a sack. Well, you don't usually get a sack from a nose tackle spot, but we got one there.
No, we don't, and a lot of the times in passing situations, they end up off the field anyway. So how happy was he to work his way back to the quarterback and put him on the ground? He's going to end up with a nickname after something like that, some Big Jelly or something like that.
Following the sack, it's now 3rd and long for Watson and the Texans. Throwing on 3rd and long. Watson flushed out right. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there, because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
Here's Brian Anger now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he gets it away, and it's a laser headed for the sidelines. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds.
At their own 26-yard line.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first down.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
He'll buy some time right. Going deep here for Watkins. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. On 3rd and long, it's Mahomes. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked up by Justin Reed. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. 2-score game here in the 4th, and that pick, it kind of keeps the door ajar, doesn't it?
It does, and you wonder about their strategy, because with a 2-score lead, you would think maybe you're just sitting on and trying to drain some clock. It's almost like they felt like, hey, we've got a good cushion. We can keep pressing it. It ended up costing them.
Mike 10. Hey, let's get off the field.
After the interception, here's Watson. Throwing the out route, incomplete. It's Hopkins. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool them and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency.
No doubt.
Hey, 59!
Looking to throw again on second down. Watson. This is caught. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially. They'll try to punch it in with Miller. And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. Lamar Miller hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season as his guys are back within a single score. Kaimi Fairbairn on for the extra point. Makes it 14-7. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. I'm curious to see, Charles, about the play calling on this drive. Last time out, the interception that led to a touchdown. Here we are. I mean, very close, one-score game.
Man, if I'm a defender, I'm actually chirping Chili on the other side of the ball, saying, hey, we picked off the last one. What you going to do about it now? So when you do throw the football, high percentage, but throw it with confidence. Because if there's any hesitancy at all, it could end up in enemy's hands again.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on second down. They go play action. Now Mahomes. And this is Gabriel on the catch. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Mahomes now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Now a run with Montgomery. Pushing forward for 3 up to the 48.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine. From just shy of midfield, Mahomes flush to his right. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked up by Justin Reed. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD. On for the PAT, Kaimi Fairbairn. And we are tied here in the 4th quarter. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And fresh off the pick six, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. J.J. Watt in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. Getting down to the good stuff, all tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. They've got a second down now as they search for a score to break this tie. Here a throw taken in by Watkins. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Yellow. Watch the slap. Watch the slap. Hey, 4-1 Mike. 4-1 Mike. Here, 15. 15. Check. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out. Check. No, I don't need to. Check.
Back to throw. Mahomes. And this is caught. That's Watkins. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
First down, Chicago.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Mahomes to throw. They'll set up the screen to Montgomery. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
What's tight? Tight is right. What's tight? Tight is right.
To throw is Mahomes. Eluding the pressure right. He'll hit Watkins on the crossing route. A good pickup, 17 yards and a bare first down. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. A give to Montgomery out of the gun. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. They're making steady progress, but I see your face. You're worried about that clock.
I'm worried about the clock, and at some point you have to have a splash play in there as well.
Now Mahomes. Got a man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. Touchdown, Chicago. Taylor Gabriel in the final minute, and the Bears have taken the lead.
Well, any thoughts about overtime have ended at this juncture. That touchdown puts them up 6. I would imagine they'll kick the extra point now and rely on their defense.
Yeah, rely on their defense. So a little bit of time left on the clock here in the 4th, but they got to feel good now. Oh, how about this? No good. Just his 2nd miss of the year, and our score will stay right where it is. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25.
The Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They're down here in a one-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late-game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute it.
Well, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game.
Hey, 4 down. 26. Hey, we got a seal. We got
He's back to throw. He's got the first down here inside the 30. And down to the 28-yard line. 15 yards, the Texans pick up the first down.
Mike, we set. 19, 24.
They'll look to throw. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up third down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off at the 16. And nothing but daylight ahead. And they will score a pick six for a Bears touchdown. I don't know who all is to blame there, but I love seeing pick sixes.
Nothing like seeing someone pluck it out of the air and go the other way and see people try to change directions. Hard to do.
And this one's caught. And their fourth quarter lead grows by a couple more. And they turn the pick six into a pick 8 with that 2-point conversion.
I love how you upsell. That is outstanding right there. What a big-time play. Big switch in how this game was going, and then they capitalized a little bit on top.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. This fielded at the 2. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
The Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened during the game. So after it's over, you're going to go to the football.
And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down. So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears. And they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
So you get the sense that whatever was said at halftime obviously hit home. I think it's a little bit more than that, though. Obviously, there are words that are said, and, hey, come on, guys, we have to play better. But sometimes it's just sharpening your execution, sharpening your focus, and maybe doing the things you practiced all week without major adjustments, just doing them better. And that got it done in this one.
So for Chicago, the win moves them to 12-1 now on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Houston, it's just their third loss as they fall now to 10-3. And they'll try to get back on the beam next week as they'll head to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
Y'all already know what time it is, huh? Playing skills, you did. Ice on the wrist, car on the wrist, hole in the wrist, watch out flip, watch out whip, I'm in the whip, hole in the wrist, I never switch, ice in the